A superheated gas cloud traveling over 100 miles per hour vaporized 2,000 people in seconds. The citizens of Pompeii had 16 hours to escape Mount Vesuvius, but fatal mistakes sealed their doom. The morning of August 24, 79 AD started like any other day in Pompeii, with citizens going about their daily routines completely unaware that Mount Vesuvius had been showing warning signs for days. Small earthquakes had rattled the region throughout the week, tremors that locals dismissed as ordinary occurrences in their volcanic landscape. Wells had run dry without explanation. Animals behaved erratically, fleeing the area in unusual patterns. The mountain itself released strange sulfurous odors that drifted through the streets. These signs pointed to imminent catastrophe, yet the people of Pompeii ignored every single warning nature provided. The volcanic column towered 3 times higher than modern commercial aircraft fly, visible for miles across the Bay of Naples. Ash began falling like black snow, accumulating at a rate of 6 inches per hour. Roofs started collapsing under the weight, yet thousands remained inside their homes, believing the stone walls would protect them. They gathered valuables, covered their faces with cloth, and waited for the eruption to pass. This decision to shelter in place rather than flee immediately would prove fatal for the majority. The window of escape was rapidly closing. The pumice stones, some as large as fists, piled up relentlessly on rooftops across Pompeii. Buildings designed for Mediterranean sun could not withstand the crushing load of volcanic rock accumulating at catastrophic speed. Wooden beams splintered and cracked under the pressure. Entire structures began to sag and groan. Families huddled inside suddenly found themselves buried alive as ceilings caved in without warning. Those who survived the initial collapses were now trapped beneath tons of debris, unable to dig themselves out. The very shelters they had trusted became their tombs, and the few remaining hours to escape were slipping away. Wealthy citizens loaded servants with gold coins, jewelry, and precious artifacts, refusing to abandon their fortunes even as death approached. The main roads out of Pompeii transformed into obstacle courses of volcanic debris, with pumice piling higher than a person's waist. Carts became useless as wheels sank into the ash. Horses panicked and bolted or collapsed from exhaustion. Families carrying heavy treasure chests moved at an agonizingly slow pace while lighter debris continued to rain down. Those who prioritized wealth over speed found themselves overtaken by the eruption's relentless advance, their greed costing them the precious minutes needed to reach safety. The towering column of ash and gas, which had been climbing into the atmosphere for 11 hours, suddenly lost its structural integrity and collapsed under its own massive weight. This collapse generated a phenomenon far deadlier than falling pumice: a pyroclastic surge. The superheated cloud of gas, ash, and rock fragments reached temperatures exceeding 500 degrees Fahrenheit and accelerated down the mountain slopes at speeds that made escape impossible. Unlike the steady rain of pumice, this surge moved faster than any human could run, faster than any horse could gallop, obliterating everything in its path with the force of a horizontal volcanic explosion racing toward the sleeping city. The pyroclastic surge struck with devastating precision, delivering death in a fraction of a second. The extreme heat caused instant muscle contraction, freezing victims in their final poses as their bodies underwent catastrophic thermal shock. Brain tissue vaporized before pain signals could reach consciousness. Lungs seared shut before a single breath of scorching air could be drawn. The people of Pompeii died so rapidly that many remained in positions suggesting they never knew what killed them, preserved forever in the exact moment the superheated cloud engulfed them, their final seconds erased by temperatures no human body could withstand. Archaeological excavations have uncovered the most intimate and haunting evidence of Pompeii's final moments. Plaster casts made from voids in the ash reveal families clustered together, parents shielding children with their own bodies in futile protective gestures. One victim was found still clutching a loaf of bread, frozen mid-meal. Another lay in bed, never having risen from sleep. A mother cradled her infant against her chest, her arms wrapped tightly around the child in a final embrace. These preserved poses demonstrate that death arrived so suddenly that most victims had no time to react, their ordinary activities interrupted by instantaneous annihilation. This final surge carried exponentially more material than the first, moving with such force that it flattened buildings still standing and buried the entire city under a suffocating blanket of ash and rock. The volcanic debris entombed Pompeii so completely that the city vanished from the landscape, erased as if it had never existed. Streets, temples, homes, and bodies disappeared beneath 20 feet of solidified volcanic material that would preserve them for nearly 2,000 years. The eruption finally subsided, leaving behind a transformed landscape where a thriving Roman city had stood just 18 hours earlier, its 7,500 residents forever frozen in their final moments. 17-year-old Pliny the Younger watched from Misenum, 20 miles across the Bay of Naples, as the massive eruption column rose into the sky. His uncle, Pliny the Elder, commanded the Roman fleet stationed at the naval base and immediately ordered ships to launch a rescue operation. The elder Pliny, a renowned naturalist and admiral, sailed directly toward the danger, driven by scientific curiosity and duty to save those trapped along the coastline. He never returned. Pliny the Younger's detailed letters to the historian Tacitus, written decades later, became the only surviving eyewitness account of the catastrophe, preserving crucial details that would help scientists understand volcanic eruptions for centuries to come. When excavators first unearthed Pompeii in 1748, they discovered something unprecedented in archaeology: a city frozen in time, preserved exactly as it existed in its final hours. For centuries, the location of Pompeii had been forgotten, buried, and lost to history. Early excavations focused on recovering treasures and artifacts, but in 1863, archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli revolutionized the investigation with an ingenious technique. He realized that the decomposed bodies had left perfect hollow spaces within the hardened ash. By carefully pouring plaster into these voids, Fiorelli created casts that captured every detail of the victims' final moments, from facial expressions to the folds in their clothing, giving modern observers a haunting glimpse into ancient tragedy. The tragedy of Pompeii remains one of history's most devastating natural disasters, a stark reminder of nature's overwhelming power. If this story moved you, please like this video, subscribe for more historical deep dives, and share it with others.